Section 13. Of note, Keeping the Peace, LLC, located in McKinney, Texas, is owned by a bailiff and uses off-duty police officers as monitors. Their information page is attached as Exhibit H. Here's the breakdown of our communications with the full thread from 416 before court today attached as Exhibit I. Subpoint A of that section. Wednesday, 4/16/25, 11:18 11:18 a.m. through 6:23 p.m. I notify counsel my office is researching professional monitors in John's area to share with her. Noting Brianna would love to see W on Easter and his first birthday, 4/26/25. Ms. Butnick sends me the Texas Attorney General's website of supervised visitation providers. The website is a list of only 8 places, as they are not professional monitors but visitation centers. I share our list of 4 monitors, including the highlight that Keeping the Peace uses off-duty police officers as monitors. Subpoint B. Thursday, 4/17/25, 1:22 p.m. through 1:22 p.m. through 4:57 p.m. Excuse me, y'all. Ms. Butnick confirms the parties reached no agreement in mediation. All of Brianna's requests for in-person visitation were denied by John, and asked for a phone call on the visitation topic for 4/18. I agreed to the call, confirmed we were not in agreement to use a visitation center when one was not ordered, and note John said he had family plans with Winter on on Easter, per what he told Brianna on our Family Wizard, which is the app I think it's an app that they use to communicate when parents are going through like custody battles, I guess. I explained Brianna was fine respecting those plans and was willing to split W's birthday 50-50 so both parents could see their son on his actual first birthday. Ms. Butnick states Brianna abducted Winter, so John was adamant about using a visitation center at least for the first month. I point out again the orders only require a professional supervisor to be used and confirm I understood her client's concerns. I offered to send more options if they did not like the 4 we shared. First and foremost, this attorney continuously likes to put things in quotations when she pretends that it's not real or like it didn't really happen, right? So for instance, she puts the word abducted, she puts kidnapping, she likes to put things in quotations when she is essentially like saying this is not true. However, according to the law and the way that the law reads, it is true. You did have a court order. You were served the way that you signed off on being served, and you were not supposed to take that child across state lines during your visitation. Actually, ever. You weren't supposed to. The child was never supposed to be removed from Texas. You did that. Just so we're clear. You did that. And we'll get to like what my thoughts on that in a little bit. I'm just like shaking the shit out of this desk, huh? But that is what happened. So there is no abducted. It is you abducted a child that you were not supposed to. Period, point blank. I don't know what else to tell you. Thank you guys for tapping the screen. Let's get to 50K if we can. Thank you guys so much for being here. I haven't been reading the chat, but thank you guys for being respectful. How about you talk about the way 2K was making visits so hard to set up at the center? I would make it hard too if somebody had just kidnapped my child. Absolutely 100%. I actually would have done far worse than what he has done. Far worse. I wouldn't have been able to control myself standing outside of that house when the cops stood out there for 2 hours trying to get her to hand back over said child. Wouldn't have happened. Would not have happened. Wouldn't have been able to stand there and hold my cool for 2 hours. If that had been in the state that I'm from and the state that he's from, they would have kicked the door in. Because in my state, we don't play about children. In California, clearly they stand outside 5 cops deep and don't do anything. They just move at whatever speed they would like to. But in the state that I'm from, they would have kicked the fucking door in. Just so we're clear. So, wild child mama, I just see you came right back in. You can go. I don't even, why do y'all, you're not going to get me to change my thoughts or understanding of the law. And some of us do have an actual understanding of the law. Okay? It is clear that you don't. Subpoint C, Friday, 4/18/25, 9:18 a.m. By the way, guys, this is not my main account. My main account is linked in my bio. But also follow me on other platforms because I'm sure that this live is probably going to get taken down. Happens all the time. Live, laugh, love. What are you going to do? My favorite place to go is favorited because I can say what I want over there and do what I want over there, and they don't ever take me down. Ms. Butnick cancels our calls for the afternoon, stating, "I'm not sure a call is productive at this point in light of your email. I point out everything outlined in my 41825 declaration. All the procedural fumbles I saw in the file docket advised we would ask the court to address the visitation dispute today in court and remind Ms. Butnick keeping the peace is owned by a bailiff who employs off-duty police officers as monitors. Second reminder." This is where she starts getting petty and starts putting in parentheses the reminder, how many times she's reminded them of it being owned by a bailiff and run by off-duty police officers. Ms. Butnick continues to argue for the visitation facility. I again ask why John will not agree to use a monitoring service owned by a bailiff that employs off-duty police officers as monitors. Third reminder, Ms. Butnick tries to kick the can to the 5/2/25 hearing. Visitation, knowing W's birthday is 4/26/25, and my client has not seen him since 3/24/25 because of her own doing. Let's just be very, very clear. Very, very clear. I'm not saying he's been the easiest to work with. That has nothing to do with me with this situation for me right now. I am simply saying that by your own admission as an attorney and your client's own admission, she has failed to show up for court multiple times. She failed to hire attorneys, and she failed to file the proper documentation or declarations in order to combat whatever John was saying about her. Just so we're clear. Your client failed. Your client failed as a client and as a mother in this situation. You didn't do what you had to do to protect your child or to see your child or to gain custody of your child or visitation, whatever it is that she actually wants. That is what you didn't do. You didn't do anything to gain anything. So just so we're clear. I asked a fourth time why John would not agree to use a service who uses off-duty police officers as monitors. I beg. This is, quote, "Please do what's best for this baby by making sure his mom doesn't miss his first birthday," end quote. The audacity for you to request on behalf of arguably someone who could care literally less, or couldn't care less, sorry, about this child is beyond me. You also don't get to start demanding or even really requesting a whole bunch of shit when you've played no role in raising the child. And you can't say that that's on him. It's on you. You have done everything to be combative. So now that he's being combative, people are like, why is he being so mean? Because he's had to deal with this for almost a year. Actually, now it's been a year because W's birthday was the other day. I'm not understanding where the confusion is coming in, but sure. Brianna messaged John on 4/18/25 on OFW. Thread attached was Exhibit J and asked him to fill out the intake paperwork. John said, "I'm on a road trip and I will do it whenever I get there." This is notable as my client is regularly smeared by John and his followers online for going out during her parenting time. But when John does the same, the standard is apparently different. You want to know why it's different, Moron? Is because John's road trip that you're accusing him of being on was to take his child to visit his family for the holiday, which is clearly documented via live stream, via videos, via Snapchat, whatever it is that you want to follow him on or watch it on. It's literally all over that. That's the road trip that you're accusing him on. Just so we're clear. Your client, however, is the one who will get her child, put them in very, very unsafe environments with people partying all around him, doing illegal activities, clearly unsafe. Fighting's going on. People are screaming. Cameras are shoved in his face. They're talking about filming him while he's bathing. But you're right. It's the same thing. I definitely do, Jay. 100% want him. Absolutely. I've never like minced words with that. I've said I want him. We good? Everybody got it? Totally in love. I don't even know where I was. Smeared by John and his followers online for going out during her parenting, but when John does the same, the standard is apparently different. Ms. Butnick says John is being courteous by offering to start a supervised visitation facility and transition to a professional monitor at another location in the future after visits are successfully exercised at the facility without issue. This was no issue of a courtesy being given. The court already ordered professional visits could take place. I shared the OFW message with Ms. Butnick and again requested John fill out the intake paperwork. I reminded her a mom should not miss her son's first birthday, especially when she gave John the 2024 fall winter holidays in the 10/31/24 stipend order in exchange for her getting them in 2025. Ms. Butnick claims my client can start her visits, but with a monitor selected by her client. Note, from 3/24/25 when the supervised visitation order was put into place to 4/15/25 when I subbed into this case, to my knowledge, John and Ms. Butnick never reached out to Brianna with John's requested monitor, nor suggested visitation dates. Let's pause right here, actually, because I want to go back up. The absolute manipulation that this attorney admits to trying to get over on his attorney and on John himself. I reminded her a mom should not miss her son's first birthday, especially when she gave John blah, 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 blah. Did you want to remind your client that she shouldn't have missed the entire first year of his life almost? Are we going to address, like, I understand that there's people who don't like what I'm saying and they are going to make accusations like, oh, you're only saying this because you really want 2K. Okay, fine, I'll concede. Yes, I want 2K. Does that make you feel better? It still doesn't negate the facts here. The facts is that this mother has abandoned her child. She's done absolutely nothing to get that child back because she does not care. And not only that, she has done everything that she possibly can to lose said child. She live streams everything that she does wrong on purpose. She's dumb, but she's not that dumb. You are biased because you're in love with him. I am. I'm also in love with my husband who's laying on the bed that I've had for 8 years. I'm not Jeffree Star. I don't want straight men. It's a joke. He knows it's a joke. I don't know. I don't know what y'all want. Y'all will find any excuse to make people like who agree with him or to that have this kind of opinion on the situation. Yes, court is in LA. That have this opinion on this situation. You will find any reason for us to like be Team 2K. It's got to be because you want to sleep with him. Sure, I'd let him break my back in, but that has nothing to do with the court case or what Bree has and hasn't done. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I'd let him fold me like a pretzel. Yeah. T. Okay.